On this week's Talkin with Topher.
Keeping the name on the building. They don't have a franchisee.
Holy shit.
They failed all their help. No, my whole career. You're in fight camp, you're losing weight. And that's what sucks the most. You can, not be afraid of another man, but the fear of danger, trust me.
And now let's get into episode 166. What is happening, TwT fans? It is so good to be back on this June 8th, 2023, and I'm so glad to have you all back here with me. Before I get into anything today, because I got a great episode for everybody, let me start off by saying thank you. Thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you to the new subscribers. Awesome. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast. You are what's keeping me coming back week after week, so I greatly appreciate all of you. Thank you. Keep sharing, rating, reviewing, and giving all the episodes a thumbs up. If you're new to the podcast, you're just stopping by, checking it out, maybe somebody sent you the link tree to check this out. Well, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right. It's the one thing that you can do for me. It's the most important thing you can do for the podcast, and it's free for you. All right. This thing is not free to do. So be clicking that subscribe button. And of course, if you want to get more involved with Talkin with Topher, that's right. You want an opportunity to tell your story by sending an email over to the official email of the podcast. That's TALKIN with Topher at gmail.com. That's talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. Easy way for you to get access to everything TWT, social media, all the platforms. It's by clicking this link tree right here. The link tree is going to give you access to everything TWT. It's just that easy. Now, with all that said, let's get into today's episode. So I have a guest for all of you. So instead of me rambling on and on and on the way I always do, let's get into today's episode with my guest, Brendon Marotte. And what's happening? It is so good to be back, dude. I am so glad to have you on the podcast, Brendon. I do want to say, is it Marotte?
Marotte, yep.
It is Marotte.
Yep.
Okay, I do have to say that I've always said Marcotte.
Everyone shocked, like, I swear. Since
Where'd the C come from?
I don't know. Everyone's like, I remember being a little kid, elementary, middle school. Brendon Marotte to the office. I'm like, where's the C?
There's no C.
There's no C going on in this.
So this has been happening like all your life, which is so funny.
So now they just say Marotte. I'm like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, you just answer to it. That's so funny. So Marotte. Yep. Just want to make sure I get that right. But man, it is so fantastic to have you on the podcast today. Why don't you plug or promote anything you want right now?
Yeah, no, I'm pumped to be on, man. Brendon Marotte. I fight professionally. MMA 7-1, and I own 2 cafes with my wife, and that's what we do. I got 1 kid, a son, 2 French bulldogs, so that's really much the rundown of the life.
Where can people find you?
Social media, you can find me anywhere with Kid Marotte.
Okay, there we go.
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, Rumble, the whole nine.
And what is the restaurant or establishment that you and your wife have?
Balance Cafe. So we got one in Plaistow that's been around for 5 years.
Nice.
And then the
Has it been that long already?
Dude, we're coming up on our 5th year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
5th year.
Where's the second one?
Wyndham.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So if you go like down, what was it, like 111?
Yeah.
But so there's a CVS on the Shaws. They built a brand new plaza on the CVS, and we're right inside there.
Oh, awesome.
So, yeah, nice small little place.
How long has that been there?
After this summer will be year 3.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay, so you did it 2 years after you opened the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Approximately.
Yep.
That's friggin' awesome, dude. That's so
great.
awesome.
I was pumped. But yeah, it's busy as hell. I wish we maybe might have spaced them out a little bit, but it's good.
Hey, you know,
all's well that ends well. So
right?
We're happy. We're blessed to have that, and it just.
And you can find the Balance is also on like Facebook, Instagram, and all those places. You can look that up.
Any social media of mine, just it's in the bio.
Yeah, because I tell you, I see the food and the pictures of the food, and I've been in a couple times in Plastow. Great place, great food. You still doing the coffee and everything else?
Yeah, the whole nine.
The whole nine?
Yeah, we call it balance because we want to not be like an unhealthy place, but not be like a crazy freak healthy place. Where
Okay.
Like, so our point was you can have everything for grandma, grandpa, Uncle Steve that does construction, and then a vegetarian, So we got everything. The main sellers are the smoothies and the acai, obviously. People love acai around this area. But yeah, coffee, cold brew, hot coffee, espresso, breakfast, lunch.
Did you do alcohol at one point?
We did. Yeah, we did. So we stopped doing that.
Did you? Okay.
Yep.
I do remember that popping up for a moment.
Yeah, we wanted to give it a shot because there's some other cafes that do it, but they were bigger than us. So it was enough to keep it going, but not enough for like the headache that it was worth.
Oh,
so
really?
We did like specialty margaritas where like real frozen fruit and all that stuff, but it was making enough where I was like, all right, you can keep it around, but it wasn't worth the headache.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, good. Well,
Yeah.
it
was fun. Never know till you try. It was
right.
It
Must have been a great learning experience.
Yep.
And if you ever wanted to do it down the road, now you know how it's done.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got like the tip certification and a bunch of stuff. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yep.
I know being in the restaurant industry myself right now, you have to be like serve safe and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah. Mass is a lot tougher than New Hampshire, but New Hampshire's kind of following suit now.
Yeah.
Where Massachusetts had to have like one manager position in every shift. And,
yes.
Yeah, and it's like a 4-hour online course, and then you have to be this and then sanitize. So New Hampshire never did that, but now they do.
Yeah.
So we had to get all that stuff. When we first opened, we had like one certificate that was like, hey, we're allowed to sell food. But now I got like 7 taped on the wall.
Because you got different employees for different shifts, and they all have to have it.
They have to have it.
But they don't have to have manager. They just have to have they can have a food handler, right?
Yeah. So in every shift, as long as one person has like that serve safe thing, then you're good. The whole
that's
good.
what I thought. Yeah, I'm dealing with that right now throughout a couple locations.
Yep.
We're all working on it because the New Hampshire regulations have changed.
Yeah.
And they've actually gotten a little bit more stringent on all of that. So I've got 9 locations that we've got to dial it all in. It's been
for the shops.
Yeah.
9. Jeez.
Yeah. There's 9 wrap cities right now across New England, and we are getting ready to open up our 10th location in North Andover, Mass.
So wait, what Rap City? I thought. So you guys have 9?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm seeing those pop up all over the place.
Yeah. Concord, Tilton, Amherst, Epping, Nashua, Londonderry, Derry, Salem, and Manchester.
Damn, congrats, dude. That's freaking incredible.
Yeah, I'd say it's a great company to work with.
You know
I did the course, dude. It took 3 months for me to complete it.
Yeah, dude, I'm right there with you. My wife like banged through it in like 3 days.
Did she?
But like me trying to do that and read and learn, I'm like,
dude, it was 12 hours of modules with little pre-tests. And then you had to take, if you did the course, you had to do the pre-exam.
Yep.
And if you didn't pass the pre-exam, you couldn't take the exam. And then it was like, if you do take the exam, it's like, you got to pass or you have to pay for it all over again.
Yep.
I was like,
it's a whole circuit.
Dude, sweating bullets.
Of a headache, yeah.
Dude.
I feel like I'm in the driver's ed room doing like in that room where they take your phone. They're like, it's like, you can only get 12 wrong and you got 11 wrong. And you're on the last question. You're like, yeah. I'm so happy it's over.
It was so nice when it was over. Yep. Everybody's like, well, what'd you get for a score? I go, I passed.
Yeah,
there you go. It. Don't give a shit.
Yep,
you know what I mean? I know my number, but it was like, I passed.
I swear the way like state and like government regulated businesses and stuff, it's almost like they don't want you in business.
Well, the thing is that what I heard is that the courses, like you used to be able to go in a group, right? Okay. And there was a whole bunch of people, like I think sometimes up to 20 people in a room. And then there was one person teaching the class, but they would actually conversate between each other. Okay. And they would ask questions and then answer the answers. So so you'd have 20 some odd people show up, and then you have 20 some odd people pass.
Yep.
So it was just this revolving door of an entire class passing all the time.
Yep.
And I think that's where the online came in, plus COVID, right?
Oh, yeah.
Changed the restrictions on that. And then they saw, hey, we don't have every single person passing. So what's going, you know what I mean? So they were like kind of putting 2 and 2 together. And I think that's where the regulations started changing, because they started realizing that every group that would show up in the class would pass, but all the people doing it separately online, they were failing.
Right.
They were barely passing.
So they probably thought, like, are people really learning this stuff?
Right.
Are they really figuring
and
it
I
out?
think that's where the regulations started changing, and that's why they've gotten so strict today on it, because I did it online. I couldn't read my questions out loud. They had me pick up my laptop and spin it around.
They check your room.
They saw this
you can't
TV.
Have a phone near you.
And she was like, I just saw a TV.
Yep.
Can you throw a thing over that? And I go, well, no, I can't. I have nothing to throw over it. I'm in a computer room. And she's like, well, then you need to unplug it, and you need to show me that it's unplugged.
Yeah.
Like, show me what's under your desk. I was like the whole 9, dude. They wanted a whole 360 of this room.
Jeez.
It was wild. And then I am one of those people that learns by speaking out loud.
Yep.
That's how I retain my information. That's how I understand what I'm doing. It's how I can answer questions. And then when they were like, you're not allowed to read the questions out loud. And I'm like, why? And they're like, because somebody could be hearing you, and they could be, you know.
Right, as if they're not going to hear them yelling there.
I was like,
25.
Right. I was like,
my
so
God, you want me to kick my cat out of the room?
I truthfully believe, because in the before COVID, I think too many people were passing, and they weren't really questioning it back then, you know, because they had trust in their instructors and everything else. But I think once they started seeing the online and they started seing failure.
Yeah, the declining people passing.
Yeah, they were like, something's fishy here.
The old system wasn't,
Yeah, so like now there is still ways to do it in class. You have to have like a minimum of 5 people, but to get 5 people that need to be certified
at the same time
from almost the same locations, in a sense, because I have multiple franchisees that own multiple locations. To pull all your workers out, to sit them down in a classroom, is almost next to impossible
at
today.
the same time with everyone's schedule. And,
so now we recommend just do it online.
Just get it done.
And if all you have to do is take the exam, well, that's like $60.
Yep.
I did the course; it was $180.
Yeah.
So, and it's like,
brutal.
And
like if you just take the exam and you fail, you end up taking that a few times. It's kind of worth it to take the whole course.
Yeah.
Just learn it, get it done.
Because they go over everything. I mean, shit we will never use. Like we don't have a dishwasher, but I know now that it needs to be at 185 degrees.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy.
Like it's wild.
It's nuts. Like you can only preheat rice to this extent and this and this.
Yes.
Yep.
Dude, and sprouts, so dangerous.
Sprouts?
Sprouts are super dangerous, dude.
Really?
Sprouts and I was never a big chicken lover anyways. It's not exactly my ideal meat to eat. I prefer red beef, steak. But man, after taking that course, I was like, oh wow, this stuff is super dangerous.
It can kill you, yeah. Dude, we probably go through like 80 pounds of chicken a week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have to keep it separated. So you'll get like a 40-pound case. And then you open it up, it's a big clear bag, and there's 10-pound bags, 4 of them individually.
Yes, yeah, we get the same stuff.
Yep, and then the health inspector once you open this has to sit in the bottom, and then if you don't use the whole bag, it has to go in a case, label it, and it has to sit at this like there's levels in the fridge. It has to sit. It's
because
be at the bottom.
It's got to be at the bottom because it's raw.
Yeah, and if it starts leaking down onto all your stuff and...
Oh yeah, you have to know. It's actually kind of fun to be able to talk to somebody about this because man, it's such a learning experience in itself. You know what I mean? It's like there was just a restaurant the other day in Boston. It looked from the name, I assumed it was a Mexican restaurant. I could be completely wrong, but they just had a health problem, got a shit ton of people sick. Not only did they close down their one location in Boston, they closed down the other location yesterday.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the Dunkin' Donuts thing in Hampstead?
No.
Hampstead and East Hampstead and Plastow?
No.
So I grew up in Hampstead, and There's a place called Colby Corner, and there's a Dunkin' Donuts here.
Yeah.
Yep, and then
No
the
Colby
Hannaford's
Corner.
with the little Dunkins next to it, that little gas station. So that one, Colby Corner, and then the one in Plastow. You know, it used to be Irving, but now it's Noria gas station. It's
Oh,
right to
yeah.
it. So they are in a huge lawsuit with Dunkin' Donuts. They failed all their health inspections. I guess there was all over the town pages. There was mold in the ice bins.
No.
You name it, disgusting. They failed so badly that Dunkin' Donuts revoked their franchisee. And now they're in lawsuits with Dunkin' Donuts because they refuse to stop selling as Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, no, I cannot make this up. So they're still using the Dunkin' Donuts name, everything, selling, running under them, but they do not have a franchisee no more. Yeah, and they're still running it. And I was like, there's no way. Like, they would have got shut down. So I went to the one at Colby Corner, and they have stickers on almost every single donut and a bunch of other items out of order, because I'm only assuming that they cannot get it no more.
Right, because they're not Dunkin' Donuts. They're not a franchise anymore in that location, so they can't replenish the products.
Right.
So they're just letting them run out, but they're keeping the name on the building?
They're keeping the name on the building. They don't have a franchisee.
Holy shit.
They failed all their health inspections, which I'm sure they did everything necessary, and they let them run because the state or the town wouldn't let you run if you failed.
So Dunkin' Donuts is suing them?
Yeah. I guess it's a woman and a son that kind of own all of them, all three of them. But, yeah, they were shut down. Those were one of the ones I molded in the ice, and I drank there every day.
Did you?
Dude, every day. And I'm a huge coffee guy. I'm like 3-4 coffees a day. And all around Hampshire, I go through Sandown, Chester. I'm always hitting those.
Oh, my God.
But, so, yeah, I was like, oh, awesome. Great to know.
Dude,
now I got to change my dunks.
Ice machines are crazy, dude.
But, yeah, they shut down. Like, they were open, and they were closed down for 4 days. Then open, then for a week shut down. Then open, and then all their staff left. They got all new staff. And then I found out on, like, the Plastow town page, the Hampstead town page, and small news that they're in a lawsuit with Dunkin' Donuts.
That is fucking wild.
Because they're no longer Dunkin' Donuts, but they're still
running under the Dunkin' Donuts name, which is so
wrong.
So wrong,
bad.
Dude.
So
Holy
wrong.
shit.
How do you get mold in an ice bin? I don't know.
Oh, that's just from not cleaning it.
Not clean, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You're just constantly refilling it, but when you open and close it, that's why, like, when the ServSafe was going over the ice bins and stuff, and they're like, you can't. I guess people used to use glass cups, and they would scoop with glass cups. It would shatter in the ice bin, and then you would get. So they would go over all that, and then because you're opening and closing the lid, you're letting that coolness and warm, and it comes in, and it just creates the mold. That's why you're supposed to, I believe, according to the ServSafe, you're supposed to actually shut off, thaw, rinse, clean, sanitize, and then bring back down the temperature, and then fill it back up with ice. I think it's supposed to be done almost once a week, which is why, which is why we never got into like a lot of people who come into our restaurants. They're like, "Oh, do you have cups?" No, you don't have any fountain drinks. Nope, everything's bottled. That's why we do it that way, because ice machines are another place where bacteria can grow.
I have a tiny one. It only holds like 30 pounds, 40 pounds, like super, super tiny. Something that if it was in a Dunkin' Donuts, they'd run out of ice in
like
3
minutes.
But I'm still cleaning that multiple times a month.
Yeah.
It has like a clean mode where you hit it and then it just starts draining out any of the excess water.
Right. That's what's going to cause your mold to
wipe it all down, and then you get your sanitizer bottle, spray it, wipe it, let it dry, turn it back on.
Yeah.
And that's a tiny machine. So I can only imagine the size of the one Dunkin' Donuts has.
I mean, that's why, like, ice machines that have the bagged ice in them are safer than the ones with the loose ice.
Yep.
Yeah, if you got loose ice, you got to be cleaning those once a week. You have to.
Yep.
I mean, all that, man, it just ServSafe has been absolutely insane. I learned a shit ton from it, but it's just like, it's so much.
And then have you realized, like, since you did all that ServSafe stuff, you're looking back at some places you've walked into and you're like, oh, you're not. And now once you've done it and like you're in the restaurant industry, it's like a builder going into new construction. I can never walk into a place of eatery and not, I'm like, all right, that's there. I'm like, I'm like, that's a violation. There should be a lid on that. I feel like such a Karen doing it, but I can't help it.
That's so funny.
I'm like, I don't put a lid on mine, but hey, I see you.
I see you. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. It changed my outlook on everything,
Yep.
where I eat, what I eat,
100%.
and it's like, okay, I'm not gonna eat any of that anymore
Yep.
because I didn't realize how sensitive it was.
Exactly.
You know?
And then even if you don't serve it at your place with the food suppliers,
Yes.
there you see their pamphlets, everything, and how this is done, and like how preservatives are in certain foods, and like a lot of foods you eat at places, they're coming off a truck, frozen, and then they're just chucking them in a heater, and you're eating it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not.
No.
It's crazy. Slapped in a pan. There you go.
Yeah.
It's
So
wild.
it's pretty crazy. But so let's go into how we first met. So again, as always, from the PMA family.
Yep, absolutely.
And I know that we didn't meet in Plastow because you were, I believe, training MMA in Derry when
Yeah, we split up.
we met.
Yep, I was in Plastow and in Derry, but I was still in Derry 3-4 days a week doing jiu-jitsu and MMA.
Yeah. So
Yep.
that's where we initially met. And we trained. Well, you kind of went more Plastow at one point in time, did you not?
Yeah, I started there.
That's
That's where it was. Like I signed up in the Plastow location, but
Oh, no
only
shit.
Derry had the MMA program.
Okay,
So
I
that's why
thought
I
you
was down
were.
there a
I
lot.
thought you were a Derry student, and then you transferred to Plastow.
Nope, Plastow from the rip.
Oh, from the rip. No
Yep.
shit, dude. That's amazing. Yeah. So we used to train all the time. It was super fun,
Yeah.
and you've gone really far with your fighting career now.
Yeah, it's going well. We're 7-1 professional.
Oh, aren't you 7-1?
Yes, I'm 7-1. I say we because
Who's
like
that?
anyone
No,
that
no,
trains with me, I'm
I
like
know,
we,
I know.
you know, because
I get
it
it.
takes a team, it takes a village to
It
raise the
does,
boy.
it does.
And because if I was training by myself, you know, who knows, I look like Bruce Lee in the movies, just
Or-
shadow sparring. But yeah, it's crazy. It's good. I had a 2-year layoff.
Okay.
Between a couple fights pulling out, me having my businesses and getting to work, and then COVID hit. That shut us all down
dude,
for.
that fucked everything.
That screwed everyone. And then after all that was over, I had like 2 fights fall through, and but we just got back about like 6-7 weeks ago, second round TKO. You know,
Oh, okay.
so
That was
it was great.
that was a couple weekends ago, right?
Yeah, that was probably like 6-7.
It was 6-7.
Yeah,
I thought
6
you
or
were having
7.
a fight 2 weeks ago.
No, so that fight got canceled.
Oh, I apologize.
Yep,
I
no worries.
apologize.
Yeah, the one we fought was on the Dana White's Looking for a Fight show. Down
Yeah.
at the Combat Zone in Boston. So yeah, it was good. It was fun to get back in there, and since I hadn't fought in so long, I kind of got like that adrenaline, that nervous rush again. Because after a while, obviously, anyone that says they're not scared doesn't get nervous, they're a liar.
I would
like-
agree with that 100%.
Yeah, like you can not be afraid of another man, but the fear of danger.
Yeah.
Trust me. Like even though we're taking these shots, I've taken bombs. Like it still hurts. All
Yeah.
right? And we don't want to eat those.
Right.
So, but as time goes on, as I've fought more, you're more relaxed and calm. But this last one, it was like being a little kid at the Topsfield Fair about to get on a ride. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, walking towards the cage. So it was cool to feel that like extreme excitement again.
Yeah, of course. Kind of wake you up and
Yep.
get you going.
All day.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's so
Yep.
awesome. So what is the future hold for you since that fight fell through? You got anything in the works or?
Yeah, I want to get back in. I definitely want to fight once or twice this summer.
Okay.
We're right on the verge of the big shows, the big leagues, UFC. Definitely, I could see Contender Series this summer. UFC just confirmed they're coming to Boston.
Really?
I would love to jump on that card.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. I'd love to jump on that card. And, throw down. It couldn't be more better throwing down your first UFC fight in Boston.
Right?
Right in your backyard.
Yeah.
You can't beat it.
No, that's great.
So, but that's the plan. I'm going to keep fighting and, UFC Boston, let's go. Contender Series, let's go. If not, I'll keep fighting locally.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
with the Contender Series, isn't that McGregor and Jesus Christ, what's his name? Chandler.
No, so that's the Ultimate Fighter show.
That's the Ultimate
That's the
Fighter
Ultimate
show.
Fighter.
Oh, okay.
And Connor just got put back in the USADA testing pool yesterday.
Well, I could only say it's about time.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Well, look at him. He had to let the PEDs cool down.
yeah,
He was running
dude.
hot for a
Right?
while.
Dude, I don't care
Hot.
what you say. Absolutely,
No,
he
all
was.
day,
All
yeah.
day. I mean,
100%.
one, he had to get that leg healed.
Yep.
And I mean, what better way to do it?
100%. So I don't blame him.
I
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I personally think that if you go through a severe injury like that, it should be recommended because they're great for healing.
Yeah.
It's not that just because you took them isn't going to make you this massive athlete or this great
that's the common thing
fighter.
Like,
that's I feel like the stigmatism on it.
You have to perform on these and continuously use them to have them be beneficial.
Right.
You know, like look at Vitor Belfort as a prime example. Pre-USADA,
yeah,
that was a freak of nature.
Dude.
Once USADA was off, down.
Yeah.
Like you have to continue. It's not like one and done. You got to stay on these. And if you have a severe injury, especially if you are a top fighter, the promotion wants you back in the game. You want to get back in the game. If you got to do some PEDs or whatever that helps for healing to get back in there, 100%.
I don't think that should be looked at as a bad thing.
No.
Because, like, even at the end of the day, if you're just somebody who's sitting on a couch taking steroids, you're still going to look like somebody who sits on a couch taking steroids.
All day.
You have to work out. You have to do things. You have to physically drain yourself. You have to do physical things in order for them to do what they're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
So when people are like, oh, they're cheating, it's like, are they?
Yeah.
Are they really cheating? Because they're still doing all of this work. It's not like they took these and they're magically this better person.
Yep. And that's the thing with me with steroids. Honest to God, like in the eyes of the sports, is it cheating? Sure. But me, I don't care.
No.
I don't care.
I would watch it. Yeah. I don't give a shit.
It doesn't bother me.
No.
I don't. You know I
think for healing purposes, if you're injured and you're going to be off for a certain amount of time, they should take you out of the fucking pool, let you do whatever you need to get back to 75%, 80%, because I don't know how many people I've talked to in jiu-jitsu competitions, fighters, anything, Olympics with Rick. You're never 100%.
No.
You're never 100%.
No,
and I understand that now because I'm never 100% on the mats. Ever.
Nope, ever.
I always give 100% of my 60% is what I always say because I'm usually at 60%.
Yep. But when you're constantly training, you're going through life with training, you know, you're taxing your nervous system, you're taxing your muscle system. And that's the other thing too. I've never walked into a fight at 100%.
Yeah.
Like, mentally, I'm 100. We're ready to go.
Right.
But when you go through such a crazy fight camp, it's really weird. Jiu-jitsu, fight camps, you name it, you're destroying yourself to perform better.
Right.
But a lot of the training you're doing is hurting your body. So it's crazy. We kind of hurt our bodies to do better.
Right.
So, you'll never walk into a jiu-jitsu mat to fight 100%.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people do not understand that. They just they don't get it. They just see you in the ring doing whatever, and it's just like all those what do they call them? The people that just kind of like pop in and pop out. They're not like true fans and this and that. They're they're in the moment fans or something like that. But they always like they have a different look on fighters and fights and all this other shit, and they're always putting down these extreme fighters, that do crazy shit.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, how can you put them down for doing this? It's so extreme. It's so dangerous at the end of the day.
PED, needle in my bum, you're ripped.
No,
not how it happens.
It's not how it works at all.
I don't care about steroids is, dude, everyone's on them.
Right?
You're not. Well, I promise you in the high level MMA world, or not even in the high level, like getting into the high level, 50-50, 75%, I'd go as far as saying these guys are all using something.
I mean, you have to.
They're animals. And that's why I say I don't care, because you're not going to stop it.
No.
There's always ways around it. These guys are always doing this.
And just because you have a test that finds this shit doesn't mean it's going to find this shit. And it's always changing.
I feel as the tests are always evolving, so aren't the people with PEDs.
Yes.
Now people are, I think the USADA allows like a picogram now.
Yes.
Which is what they destroyed John Jones for.
Right.
And they were completely up his ass.
I know.
But now it's like, no, picogram, you're good.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. It's so interesting how they flip stuff like that. It's like the legalization of marijuana. Now all of a sudden, we're going to let people out of jail, but now we can't let them out of jail because they actually fucked up while they were in jail.
Yep.
And it just becomes this fucking silly nightmare that they've basically created for us. But I'm 43, and it's like I'm looking forward to when I start taking testosterone.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want those things to dwindle, and you have to replace hormones as you get older because you don't produce them. So when I see fighters doing things like that, it's like, yeah, of course they're doing stuff like that. They're depleting themselves continuously. Why shouldn't they be allowed to rebuild it?
Nothing, absolutely, across any sport. I see nothing wrong with testosterone replacement.
No.
Like, you got these guys. It's a proven fact. You hit a certain age, your testosterone starts going down. It's like now you want them to perform at that high level with dudes that have crazy testosterone and you don't. I'm like, dude, who cares? They had it before. It doesn't even matter. That's one thing I don't care about. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's like, you know?
It's like, I'm going to need it because, like, everybody that keeps coming into school, like, they're so young now.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, they just have so much energy.
Yep.
And I can't match that energy at all. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
They get wild. I'm still young. I'm heading towards 30. I'm 27 years old. But I swear I can be in shape, fight camp ready, and some like of these young kids that jump on the mats, they're like little Energizer bunnies.
Right?
They don't stop. They're crazy, and everything is like smash, smash, smash.
Yes.
Grind, aggression. I'm like, I swear you'll get hurt and get more worn out with the new guys than you will someone that's eons above you, because they have one speed and it's go, and they have one mode and it's smash.
Yeah.
You know, everything is aggressive.
It's so crazy. It's just a different energy. And you're like, man, I got to do something to keep up with these guys because I don't have that explosiveness anymore.
Absolutely. 100%.
Anything. And even at your age, that's still young to me. And it's like your energy is like that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yep. You've got, like, yeah, sure, you might be lower in the ranks in jiu-jitsu, but your MMA fighting, like, I can always feel that difference when we were on the mats. It was like, oh, Jesus Christ. If he had some gloves on right now, I'd be getting punched in the fucking face.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
Especially, and I feel that way with wrestlers.
Oh my God.
They walk on the mat, and ever since I've been doing jiu-jitsu, like 6-7 years now, when you see a new guy walk on the mats, white belt, and I'm like, all right, like, yeah, touch, you know, we'll go roll. And then he starts smash. I'm like, bro, what? I look at his ears. I'm like, are you a wrestler? And he's like, oh, yeah, I was. I was like, clearly, bro, because you just you smashed me.
Right? Yep. And they have this different feel. When they pin you, you're 100%. Fucking stuck.
100%. You're like, you're not going to submit me, but I don't know if I can get you off me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And they do all the time. Yep. Like Matt from Smitty's Barn trains at our school.
Yep.
And, dude, when he first showed up, you know, I was like, oh, he's a white belt, but I saw the ears, and I was like, he's got some definite experience.
Oh, yeah.
But I thought it was more fighting, and I didn't realize it was wrestling. And
he's high-level wrestling.
High level. Like,
yep.
Yeah, obviously, Smitty's Barn is top-notch wrestling.
In this area, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yep. So I was like, holy shit, dude. And it's just, and he brought one of his students with him, and he's training there now, and it's just, their energy is just so different.
And especially coming from that wrestling background, those guys have a mentality that I don't feel any other sport compares to. It's like, go. If you fail, go again.
Yes.
And if you fail again, go again. Yeah. They do not quit. Even when they're exhausted, they keep going. Like, I've gone down the Smitty's wrestling room, and I've wrestled with some high level guys. It's like, they shoot on you, you sprawl, shoot again. And they're exhausted. You can tell they're exhausted, but they just have a mentality where it's like, I will not quit until this round's over.
And I've been trying to acquire that, and it's not easy.
It's not. No.
It's so hard.
You got to get to the point of exhaustion where you're like, I'm burnt. My cardio's burnt. My brain says no, but I'm going to explode.
Right.
You got to keep pushing it.
It's so crazy. Yep. It's so crazy. So when you're in these fight camps, how many have you had to, like, are you always cutting, or have you had any fights where you had to do some gaining?
No, so I've never had any fights where I've had to do some gaining. I've fought in 145.
Your entire?
And besides the last few fights at 155.
Oh,
155 might be my new home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because since this last fight.
There you go.
Oh, excuse me, sorry. Carbonation, it's great. It's freaking killer, but it's getting me. I haven't made 145 since 2019.
Oh, okay.
My last fight was 155, and then this last fight, I was going to go back down to 145, and then my body's like, no. Like,
really?
Yeah. And since 2019, I have gained muscle, and like, since then, I don't know, like 24, 25. I feel like I hit that final growth spurt where I didn't get any taller, but I kind of put on like that that final man muscle and a little bit of build. So I got to see if I'm going to go back down to 145 and really tune up the diet even more, or maybe just pack on a little bit of muscle and stay at 155.
Stay at 155? Wow.
Yeah, but no, my whole career, you're in fight camp, you're losing weight. And that's what sucks the most, because you're training 2 to 3 times a day.
Right.
5 to 6 days a week, sometimes 7. And while you're doing this extraneous output,
you're not consuming anything to rebuild.
You're burning 70, you're putting 50 back in. It is awful.
That's brutal.
That's why wrestling, but MMA more than anything, is one of the I believe is the mentally toughest sport anyone can ever do. Because on top of doing every martial arts discipline that you have to do,
right,
and doing this extraneous workout and keeping your mind super sharp, they're like, hey, lose 25 pounds.
Right.
And if you don't, you're at a disadvantage. Like, I walk around 170 on average. That's
Do you?
welterweight.
Okay.
If I stepped in there with a welterweight who's cutting from 200, 195, they're monsters.
Yeah,
but
okay, I see that.
If you don't cut weight, you're at a big disadvantage. But also the act of cutting weight puts everyone at a disadvantage. When everyone's doing these crazy weight cuts, and then on top of like losing a bunch of fat, muscle, at the end, you're losing water weight at that point now. You're pulling water. There are some dudes that can pull like 10, 12, 15 pounds of water weight.
Really?
Yeah, and jump on the scale. You're pulling that water out of your organs. You're pulling that out of your brain.
Yeah, you are.
Even just doing that is damaging you.
Yeah.
But you got to do it, because if you don't, I'm fighting, Tommy Big Guns, who's 6'4" and just cut from 200 pounds. And it's crazy.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're ever going to get to the point where, like, just everybody fights. They figure out where you are best at, right? For your weight. And then that's your weight class, so that you don't have to go through these extremes and beat the shit out of your body before you get the shit kicked out of your... You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Do you know ONE FC?
Yes.
In Asia? So they have a hydration test.
Yeah, I heard about
which
that.
Is so smart. So it's helped everyone cut less weight. So this hydration test, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure what they do is 2 weeks out before the fight or 1 week out, they test your hydration levels, maybe fat levels. I'm not sure if that matters. But if you're too dehydrated, they're like, no,
and I think that's a good thing.
It stops guys from pulling that 10 to 15 pounds of water weight.
Yeah.
And some guys are really good at it. They're weight bullies. They can cut crazy amounts of weight and then drop 10, 15 pounds of water weight. And when they get in the cage the next day, let's say the guy's a 155er, the opponent looks like a middleweight, a 185er. It's crazy.
See, and that's where I find that stuff to be kind of wrong.
Yeah.
In a sense, because if you've got somebody that's capable of doing that, by the time, sure, your weigh-ins you were on, but now you're back in the cage and you put weight back on.
Yeah. Oh,
so you're not fighting at that weight.
Yeah.
Which
you are whatever we fight at. When I fight at 145, I am 145 just to get on that scale.
Right.
And then the second I take my first sip of water, I'll just gain pounds. I've gained 12 pounds back by the next day. So
you end up walking in the cage at 157.
Yeah.
That's
pushing 160.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm not a crazy, nasty guy at it. There's guys out on average walk back in the cage 15 to 20 pounds heavier.
That doesn't make any, it really just doesn't make any sense to me. And that's probably just me not understanding.
Yeah.
But it's wrestling, it's boxing, it's MMA, it's all of these sports.
The way I look at it is, it's if you want to be in that sport or any of those sports that do it, it just comes with the job.
It just comes with the job.
Back in the day, I can only imagine my logic of it. One guy was like, hey, if I cut 5 pounds, I'll be bigger. The next guy was like, well, if I do 10, well, if I do 15. And it started with one guy, I bet, or some people want to get a competitive edge, and now it's the norm. If you don't do it, you're now at a disadvantage.
Right, you're at a disadvantage.
Yep.
I don't know, though, but I've seen so many, fighters get up on the scale, and then it looks like they're holding on to dear life.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
They're
they've
dead.
pulled people off the scales. They've cut fights, even in the UFC.
Right.
They've gotten people at the scale, and they're like, bro, they can't even stand.
Yeah.
And then
they can barely walk. You can see them, shuffling
and the
to
doctors
the scale.
check them, and they're like, no, you're done.
It's insane what they do to themselves just to get to the scale. Never mind once you get into that fucking ring.
Getting to the scale, and I'm being 100% honest, I know so many other fighters agree, getting to the scale is the hardest part.
Yeah.
It's not the fight camp. Well, it is. It's the end of the fight camp because you're cutting all that weight to resist the urge of food. And I'm not saying like to resist sweets and resist this.
Yeah.
You are burning yourself, and you're like, all right, well, here's your 400-calorie meal.
And see?
And dude, it's so rough. Honest to God, when people say weight cut is the hard part, fighting is the easy part. Yeah, fighting's hard, but mentally, fighting's the easier part.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe that 100%.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just it's so crazy. That's why when people are like, I don't understand why is that, it's like, yeah, because this is what you fucking go through.
Yeah.
Just to get in there.
Just to get in there.
You do that.
Yeah.
Get up off your couch and get out from behind your fucking keyboard and go do this. And you tell me how fucking easy it is.
Yeah, just sitting behind their keyboard down in a bag of fucking Cheetos. Like,
oh, you missed that punch. And
yep.
you know what I mean? Fuck you people. It drives me crazy because they have no idea what you put yourselves through, and then they're like, why aren't they 100% when they walk in the ring? That's why.
And it's the same for fighting, boxing, jiu-jitsu, what all these big fans, and some of the fans understand, but those keyboard warriors, jiu-jitsu, boxing, MMA, kickboxing, Muay Thai, it's all a game of inches.
Yes.
They're like, oh, well, why didn't you just do this and land this punch? It's like, do you not know all the many steps it takes just to land one punch?
Right.
And how long it takes to perfect one punch or one submission or
Dude.
one of this? And not to mention, they're not going to let you just submit them
No.
or punch them. So while you're putting positive reinforcement to get something, they're putting negative reinforcement to stop you from doing it.
Right.
It's nuts.
It's one of the most extreme games you can play.
100%.
You know what I mean? And it's like, after being on the mats for 9 years, I mean, I get it. Yep. I get it. I understand the extreme. That's why I get angry when you're watching a fight and then they fucking stand them up.
Yep.
And it's like, no, they were going somewhere.
Yep.
Just because you don't think or the crowd is booing.
Yep.
Like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. That was going somewhere.
No, 100%. And
you know what I mean?
I like jiu-jitsu. I'm not like I'm in the cage. I'm a stand-up guy. Unless the guys are just sitting there laying on each other, don't stand them up. And what a lot of people don't understand is, when they're looking like, boo, stand them up, yada, yada. And this is coming from a guy who's not a jiu-jitsu fanatic or a wrestling fanatic. What they don't understand is they've never been in there. They don't know what these guys are working towards. Right. It may look like they just threw their ankle over theirs or they did this.
Right.
But to get those little positions is so hard. And they're like, oh, well, just stand up, just get out.
Yeah.
Dude, put a high-level jiu-jitsu guy, get in his guard, right? Oh, just break his guard, just move, just undo his legs. You try it.
Yeah.
Like, I want to say, you try it.
Absolutely.
I'm
so still trying it today.
I'm still
trying. It's fucking hard.
It's hard.
It's so hard. Yep. And it's just like, that stuff blows my mind. And it's like, now, I just want to, I know that Joe Rogan and everybody else, they talk about this stuff all the time. But it's like, no, people need to understand why fighters are never at 100%.
Yep.
Why, like, standing them up when they're in the middle of all of this is so stupid, and the crowd is just ridiculous for even wanting the stand. They just want that kill. They want the blood. They want the, and it's like, no, it's not always that way. Like,
100%.
let them go through that. Like, when they get to the ground, I'm in tune, and I'm watching, and it's like, well, I've seen a few of them where they stand them up, and I'm like,
why?
There was so much going on right there. What, the crowd's bored, so we stand them up? I hate that. I hate it so much.
I'm not a jiu-jitsu guy, but when it's on the ground and they're working, you have to let them work.
You have to.
And it's what they're doing is hard, and they could be an inch away from a submission, and then you want to stand them up.
Yeah.
Unless you are laying on each other like this and you're dead exhausted and no one's doing a single thing, not trying to advance position, not trying to throw a punch. Okay, then you can stand them up. You know what I mean, or just reassert them. But yeah, 100%. Those keyboard warriors have no idea what it's like.
No, and that's all they are.
They're the loudest. They're the loudest.
Right.
I swear they're the loudest.
They are the loudest, and they're also like maybe 2% of people out there. But like, and that's the one thing I like about how Twitter has been taken over by Elon.
Yeah.
Even though he just stepped down and put a new CEO in charge of it, but he's completely like dismantled the I want to say the level of Twitter of where it was at. Yeah. Like it was this thing where if someone shouted and screamed on it, everybody was paying attention, and
Yep.
it was destroying lives and all this other shit. And now
100%.
I think
It's kind of like a little hierarchy. thing
yeah,
that Twitter had.
and now with the check marks being meaningless,
Yep.
basically you and I can get one now.
Oh, dude, $15
Yeah.
a month.
Is it?
Not even.
So
Yeah.
I was like, this is fucking awesome
Yep.
and hilarious. And everybody's like, well, these people got to keep it, and these people got to keep it, and these people lost it. And it's like, yeah, because it doesn't fucking mean anything anymore.
No.
You know what I
100%.
mean?
That,
So
that little check mark on most social medias, especially Twitter, like now, it doesn't mean shit.
doesn't mean anything,
mean a
which is
damn thing.
hilarious to me.
Yeah, I love what Elon's done with Twitter, 100%. I know
Yeah.
some people hate it, but I'm an Elon lover. I love what he does.
Dude.
I love what he's done with Twitter, the whole nine.
I stuck with Twitter when he took it over just so I could watch it fall.
Same.
That was it.
You maybe see me tweet once in a great blue moon.
Yeah.
I just love watching people get mad.
Dude,
I watch the threads. I
it's-
keep up with sports, but it's crazy.
It's so funny
It
to
is.
watch people get so upset about it. It's like, yeah, because it doesn't mean anything.
No.
It's not the town square that we wanted it to be. It was a town square that was just negative energy and a bunch of bitches
Yep.
crying all the time.
all fucking day.
And everybody was listening to him. And
Yep.
now you don't really get listened to on Twitter,
Nope.
which is exactly the way it should be.
And the worst thing about Twitter, out of all the social medias, and I feel Twitter, I know Twitter was the worst. I don't care what you know, as long as you're not believing or supporting something that's so far-fetched out there. Everyone has different opinions, different views, blah, blah, blah. But Twitter seemed to have one set of views.
Yes.
And if you did not align with that,
Oh,
your account was getting flagged, dropped, knocked. And you could say something so simple. Let's just say, like, on an offensive scale,
Yes.
yours was a 2.
yeah.
They'll flag you, they'll drop your account. But the other side, it could have been like a 10.5 out of 10. And
Yes.
I swear it gets promoted more.
Promoted more.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Exactly. 100%.
And
it
now
was,
with Elon taking this over,
Dude.
they are the crybabies.
yes.
You know?
Yeah,
It's,
and
it's,
they're,
it's totally been dropped.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
It's nothing what it used to be, which is good.
Yeah.
I think it
100%.
kind of realigned
Yep.
everything, and they lost a lot of their power. You
And
know.
I feel like that's how social media should be. Like, obviously, there's a line of what you like. You can't go saying like, "Oh, these crazy racial slurs, this, that." Like, there's obviously a line. You got to be a decent human being. But anyone should be able to say what they want when they want on social media.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, unfollow them,
Right.
block them.
Exactly.
You know, there's obviously a level of, like I said, humanity. You know,
Yeah.
There's I've seen some stuff on social media. I'm like, you're kind of a shitty human.
Yeah.
You know, but no, with Elon running Twitter now, I feel like it's given everyone a fair playing board. Anyone
Yep.
can say what they want
When they want.
No one's getting shut down for having different views on this or this or that. So
Yeah,
it's definitely a plus. It's
Yeah,
definitely
it definitely was a plus. It was just also very, very fucking funny to
Yep.
watch. I mean,
It's
they were
crazy.
just so upset about it.
Yep.
Tell me about having kids,
Yep.
balancing your MMA career, and having 2 businesses.
Hurricane.
Yeah, dude.
Hurricane. But the best.
Do you have
hurricane.
two
I have
kids
one
now?
child.
One child?
Yeah.
Okay,
He's going
okay.
to be
3?
2 in this June.
2. Okay, all right. I'm
we're
a year
June,
ahead
we're
of
like 3
myself.
weeks out in June.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna be 2 years old. We already planned his birthday party. We're gonna like this fun playhouse. He
That's
plays all
awesome.
his cousins and
What's
stuff.
what's the date? Is it Father's Day?
No, the 13th.
The 13th.
So
So
I
it
think like every 6 years he'll have his birthday on Friday the 13th.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yep.
That's so funny.
Makes sense. He's a crazy little bastard.
Yeah.
I love him to death, but he's like definitely took over. Looks just like my wife, acts just like me.
Oh, that's
Which
wild.
is good and bad at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
he's just a wild man. He's at the stage now where like I could say, "Hey, don't touch this."
Yep.
And he walks up and he's like, "Dunk." I'm like, "Hey, don't touch it." He's like, "Dunk." And then like I'll look away for a second, I'll hear a spill. I'm like, "Come on." You know,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
testing me.
Well, you said don't,
Yep.
so I have to.
I gotta do it.
I gotta do it.
But balancing it, it's crazy. So, being a father is the best thing I've ever done. I love it. I would give up anything in life to nothing's better than it for me.
yeah.
But balancing 2 cafes and a child and a fight career, it gets hectic.
Yeah.
But and in growing up, I was never a schedule orientated guy. I never had calendars, this, that. My wife was like that. And now I got Google calendars on my phone.
Yep.
I have to put this stuff in now.
Yes.
Or else
Yes.
between a child, a life, a wife, cafes, and fighting, it'll just boom, you know?
Yeah,
So,
you gotta have schedules. You gotta
100%.
yeah.
But I love it, man. I love staying busy. I do not like sitting down. You know, even if I'm sitting down, I'm constantly wiggling my toes, my feet, something. I gotta be moving. So I enjoy it. It's good. It definitely gets super, super stressful at some points, but just taking it day by day. You know, the next 24 hours is what matters, and I'm happy and I'm blessed to have this life. You know, God's blessed my family and everyone, and I love it. But yeah, all that combined can definitely get stressful.
Yeah.
Definitely
And
get
then
stressful.
now, for me, I have to keep extremely busy because I obviously deal with alcoholism and stuff
Yep.
like that, and I've struggled my almost my entire life with it. And being able to finally let it go, but knowing that if I have any like downtime or anything like that, that's where my idle hands get in trouble, or I have tendencies of like doing things. Is there anything in your life where you had to let go of it, and now you've done things to make sure that you're staying busy, that you don't have to deal with that? Have you ever dealt with anything
What kind of things that just distract you?
like not even distracting, but like have you had any major like struggles in your life that you had to get through, and it brought you to where you are
yeah.
today?
Yeah, I'm an open book when it comes to this. I'm an anxiety guy.
Anxiety, okay.
Anxiety. I'm an open book about it, and I got no shame on it. But that's the reason why I cannot be idle.
Okay.
Is anxiety, because like once I get idle hands, I start relaxing. I swear my brain wants to attack itself. It's like I'm sitting in a room, I got nothing to do, and my brain's like, "Hey, you want to panic?" I'm like, I'm like, no. He's like, "Ah, you better go do something then." So yeah, definitely, anxiety was the biggest thing I probably overcame, and to keep myself busy, that's the biggest combat. To stay healthy, to stay physically fit, that definitely combats the hell out of that, because you know, it's just something I got, and I'm gonna live with it. It is what it is. We all get our draws in life, but definitely that was definitely the biggest thing I overcame. But staying busy and staying active, it takes it and just throws on the back burner.
Yeah,
you
and
never
that's
get rid of it, but it's like, it makes life 10 times easier.
yeah, and that's what I find with my alcoholism, is that my job, this podcast,
Yep.
everything that I got going on, jujitsu, all of that stuff, it just, even though I find it to be the same way, where it's overwhelming and it's a lot,
Right.
and I'm always busy and sometimes stressed out by it.
Yep.
I know at the end of the day that I didn't have a drink, so therefore it's, even though I find it to be stressful, it
Yep.
therefore is keeping me away from that addiction. And you find all the stuff that you've got going on to help you stay away, stay off of the anxiety in a sense.
Yeah. So my question for you, is it kind of like the same thing where, like, if I stay super busy, you don't even have time to think about anxiety?
Yes.
So when you stay super busy, is like the alcohol just not even a
It's
thought?
not even a thought.
So you find the more you slow down, that's my
Yes.
question. Does it start to creep up on you?
Always.
Really?
I believe addiction is just a monster in itself. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever your addiction is, it's a monster. And when you're not busy, it has this way of knocking on the door again.
Yep.
And it's just like, hey, how you doing?
Hey.
And I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to you.
Yep.
So I find other things to do. I just constantly keeping busy. And it's like, some days I'm like, man, I don't have a minute to just sit down.
Yep.
But then I realize and I remember, oh yeah, what was I doing when I had time? Right.
Okay. This is the better option.
This is a way better option. Yep. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm recording multiple podcasts a week. I'm doing jujitsu 3-4 times a week. I've got my job that's taking 55, 60 hours of my life away.
Yep.
And it's like all this stuff. I have no room really to like visit people and hang out and just have fun, which I would love to do. But I feel uneasy in those situations because I'm like, well, I'm not.
You're like, look at the alternative.
Yes.
Yeah, and you've lived it.
And I'm like, so I'm like, I always like being overwhelmed and busy more, just because of the simple fact that it completely eliminates
It's kind of
that.
like a double-edged sword, maybe. Like, this sharp edge is I'm always busy and a little overwhelmed, but the other sharp side is way worse.
Right. Now, where did your anxiety, like, when did you did you notice it? Because if I remember correctly, we've spoken a few times, over the course of however many years we've known each other through PMA.
Yeah.
But it was always briefly in class. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I remember correctly, you helped raise your siblings.
No, so
No, okay.
I'm
See?
just very, very tight with them.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So my me and all my siblings, we have the same mother, and
Yeah.
then I'm the oldest.
Okay.
I'm 27, and then it goes almost 18 Anthony, almost I think 16 now Brody, 13 Aiden, 10 or 11 Brock, and then the youngest and the sixth child is a girl, Aria.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Spoiled rotten. You can only imagine.
Yeah.
But no, so I've just always been they have blood, they're all the same. I'm a Marotte, they're all Samoset. But my father, the Samoset Tony, he's raised me since I was an infant. Like I grew up thinking, I'm like, Ma, why do I have two dads? Like, because my stepfather, I call him my father through in, throughout. But if you want to get legal in the
No, not really.
law, like, but that
Yeah,
is
that's
my
fine.
father. Like, as soon as I had my first memory, he has raised me, loved me, provided the whole nine. But I've just so I didn't help raise them. Maybe like a guidance in life. They can always ask their big brother for this, that. But I've always been super, super, super tight with my brothers.
Oh, okay.
Yep, all
Okay.
my siblings. I try to be as involved with them as much as possible. Right after this, I'm running down to another spot in Manchester to watch my little sister's dance recital.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I'm just always there.
Oh, wow.
But, my mother and my father, the best parents. Everyone has their version of their best parents. For me, they were my best parents. My mom had me young, and, she gave me everything I needed. Since that young, I think she had me at 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And then my father stepped in as a father role at 17.
Oh.
He's like, and they've been together ever since.
No shit.
Married, in love. They're the best.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought that. Maybe it's because I think I went over to your house once and you were like, I gotta go and take care of my brothers and sisters, and so I thought you were
Oh no, just very involved.
Just very involved. That's awesome.
100%.
So when did you start noticing the anxiety and stuff? When did that start creeping
back,
in?
I could see it as like a child where I would get anxious over certain things, and my anxiety is not like this, that, like it's random like panic attacks.
Okay, I was just gonna say, is it panic attacks?
It's panic attacks, yeah. Nothing really weirds me out.
So when you had your very first one, were you just like completely thrown off? Did you think you were dying?
Yeah, I remember years and years ago. I was like, I'm dying and I don't know why. I remember I was probably like 15, running to my mom. I'm like, hey, I don't know why, but I'm freaking out. You're shaking and everything, and anxiety is a thing where it runs in the, what's the word, hereditary?
Yes.
It can run in the family. And then I look at one of my cousins, she has it, that cousin has it, my aunt has it. And then I'm like, all right, so this is where it comes from the family. And but yeah, it's not like I never get there. I perform so well under pressure in any circumstance of life. It's not like that type of anxiety.
Right. Okay.
It's like, boom, you're panicking and you don't know why.
You're just panicking and you don't know why. It's very, very, it's so interesting because I remember times when I had panic attacks and high anxiety and stuff, but I believed that most of that was being caused from the medication that they put me on when I was so young for ADD and ADHD. They put me on Ritalin.
I hate the way doctors do that.
And well, back when I was a kid, they would put you on it, and if you were like, this isn't working, they wouldn't listen to you as the person taking the medication. They would only listen to your parents. And then they're like, well, my parents would just be like, he's still out of control. He's even worse than he was before.
Yeah.
Because Ritalin was basically cocaine.
Kitty Coke.
It just sped you up.
It's literally kitty Coke.
Yeah, it's all it is.
Yep.
And they would just up my dose and up my dose and up my dose. And it wasn't looked at as, when they finally realized that the medications, if you take them and they speed you up, they realize you don't need them.
Yep.
They didn't know that back then.
Right.
So they would
nowadays,
just keep increasing that dose.
Which nowadays it's so clearly known because, like, take Adderall for a reference. Like,
dude,
someone that needs it, it does not send them off the walls.
No.
But these college kids and high school kids, when it's time to study and hit the books, there's a reason why they go after it.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to slow down, and they can stay up for hours on end.
They stay up for days.
Yeah,
days.
It doesn't end, and so I can't believe they didn't figure that out back in the day.
Oh no, no. When I was,
I feel like you don't need to be a doctor to listen to a kid and be like, "Hey, this is getting worse." Like,
yeah, trust me, dude. I look back at the way that they medicated me when I was a kid, and I was like, this is why I got anxious. This is why I had these things happening to me, because my heart rate, my everything was just overwhelmed. It was through the roof.
Yep.
I was fucking wired. I got to the point where people wanted to start buying the Ritalin, so I started selling it.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, I'm just going to friggin' snort this for fun.
Yep.
And then I'm going to sell it, make some money, and just keep going through my scripts this way, because I mean, if I'm gonna get hyper from it, I might as well put it up my nose instead.
Right. Yeah. And that's how it is with the. I've known some people that had Adderall.
It seems to be the same.
It's like, hey, I get it's prescribed from my doctors. They're like, but when I go out and party, and they sell it to their friends and yada yada.
And then that you're also talking 30 years ago when I was put on it. I was about 13 when they put me on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And see, I'm no doctor, but I feel like when a person's that young, your brain is developing like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the last thing to do is put in a drug in them that alters your brain chemicals.
I completely agree with
100%.
you. And it's like anything today.
Yep.
We've all learned that you're not fully developed in the frontal cortex until you're 25.
Yeah.
For men.
100%.
For women, I think it's younger.
Yeah, I think they're like 21.
I think it's a little bit younger for them.
Yep.
But they're always more advanced in their brain development than we are.
Yep.
I feel like we stay children longer.
And girls, they hit puberty way before.
Yeah, they do.
Way before boys do and everything. So they're always a step ahead of us.
They're always ahead of us. But like when you're introducing these basic like they're not only just chemicals and prescriptions, but they're fucking high potent drugs.
Artificial, made in a lab.
Yeah,
drugs. It's crazy, and I can only imagine like you being older and having to go through that experience. Was it crazy to see the way they're pushing drugs down everyone's throat?
Yes,
but they're like marijuana bad.
Yeah,
like
blows my mind every time.
That's like the stuff they make a lot of these medicines with, like all the ingredients. Like there's labels on them, like bad chemical.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And so is it crazy to see how they treat it? I'm going a little off track, but how they treated marijuana then, but now how it is now.
Yes,
how the government's regulating, and they're like, let's go, because they can make money off of it.
Yes, and that's what I've noticed a lot, is that as long as they can make money from something, that's when they go,
it's on the good side.
That's a good side. That's a good thing.
Yep, 100%.
Because I was just looking up the marijuana stuff in New Hampshire, because I'm waiting for them to fucking legalize this shit, because I don't know why New Hampshire's so behind.
3 days ago.
Here's the thing. It passed the Senate for the second time.
Okay.
It went to the House and it got denied.
Oh, right.
All right. So they did that. And Sununu, I just did a podcast last week. So this is because the way that I'm recording right now, everything's pre-recorded. But Sununu came on and was like, I will legalize it as long as it can be regulated by the state.
Yep.
Which we all knew was going to happen.
100%.
All of our liquor
100%.
is done through the liquor store.
Yep.
It's the only way you can buy liquor in New Hampshire.
Yep.
So we already knew that this was the path marijuana was going to take.
100%.
Why are we taking so damn long?
Yeah.
Just do it.
And we know towards the end, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So why even play this game?
Just do it.
Do it. Yeah.
Just do it. Regulate it by the state. Put it in New Hampshire state liquor stores, or build a separate little building off to the side and just legalize this shit. We already knew you were going to do it through the state.
I agree. There's no reason it should be illegal. I don't even smoke myself, but I'm fully for it. I think it's just like anything else in life. As long as it's smart and it's in moderation and you're not being crazy with it.
Right.
Have a blast.
You should be able to have access to it. And the best way 100%. To do it today is to do it the way we're doing it, because of the simple fact that fentanyl didn't exist when I was a kid. It didn't exist.
Okay.
So like you could do cocaine and it was fine. You could try it.
Yeah.
You could try heroin. You could try all these drugs, because there was no such thing as fentanyl.
Okay, so
And-
I thought that's been around for a while. Like,
No.
'cause ever since like I said, I'm 27, but I've heard the word fentanyl since you start learning about drugs.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I got into, like, I was drinking at 9. I was smoking pot at 14.
Yeah.
I probably tried coke and heroin and all those other things by the
Yeah.
time I was 16, 17. There was no such thing. You could try cocaine and be like, I like it, or nah, I don't like it.
Right. Well,
you-
that risk of there's like a salt. Well, it's like a salt grain of
It is-
fentanyl, and it can drop you.
It is literally the amount of fentanyl you need to die is no bigger than the tip of a pencil.
What is fentanyl, first off?
Fentanyl is an opioid. It's an extremely potent opioid that they invented because opioids were not all working for everyone. So they came up with fentanyl because then they could regulate the fentanyl for surgeries and stuff like that. And when your body's in pain and you've had massive surgeries, the opiates were not doing the job. So they came up with fentanyl because it was doing the job.
Right. So, but if it's not in a highly, highly controlled substance for medical reasons,
You can die.
you can get dropped dead.
You can drop dead. And that's why we're
Crazy.
having so many fentanyl deaths today,
Crazy.
because the cartels are putting it in everything.
Everything.
Everything. I mean, there is stuff out there right now which scares the shit out of me, but like it looks like kids' candy.
I've seen that.
The little runts and shit like
Yup.
that, and they're loaded with fucking fentanyl.
Yup.
And it's like, I don't
Crazy.
understand why you want to kill all your revenue,
Yep.
but at the same time, it's so
It makes it stronger.
It's
Is that what
highly addictive.
okay, so that's where they're getting it from.
Right.
Yep.
So if they put a little bit of fentanyl in the cocaine, you're not only getting addicted to the cocaine, but now you're addicted to the fentanyl.
That's why.
So
doing it that way.
now you're gonna go back for that cocaine
Yep.
because you want it so much, but you're not actually craving the cocaine. You're
Right.
craving the fentanyl,
Right.
which is insane.
Yeah, I feel like it's what they do with what they've done with cigarettes over the years, but on a much smaller scale. You're not really addicted to the tobacco and a little bit of nicotine. Yeah, you are, but it's every chemical they put in there.
In the cigarettes.
So fentanyl is just a high.
It's just yep.
It's the peak of the
Yeah,
fucking
well,
mountain.
no. They came out with
Oh god.
They came out with shit. What was it called? It's another level of fentanyl, and it's like carfentanil or something. It's even more potent and even more deadly than fentanyl.
What? Who in their fucking
I
right
have no
mind was like,
fucking
hey,
idea.
you know what we need?
Yeah,
Yeah, something stronger than fentanyl. Because it's not like a gram of salt could kill a freaking warhorse.
I'm pretty sure it's called carfentanil,
That's so fucked.
and that's even more potent and
That's
more
so-
deadly.
You know what? You know what? To me, well, you know what's worse than the drugs, like the fentanyl, everything. The motherfuckers making it
Yeah,
and selling it and distributing it. It's just like this isn't like small time drugs where kids are having fun and high school kids.
No.
Like, you literally you're selling this knowing that someone could just take it, and even if it's not like a amount that'll kill them, maybe they have an underlying health problem or something. You're killing someone's daughter,
yeah.
someone's son, someone like you're a special level of scumbag. And so now you got some super scumbag who just made a fentanyl on steroids.
Yeah, which is insane to me because now I have nephews that are turning 16.
Yep.
And of course, they're doing the same stupid shit I was doing when I was 16.
Yep.
Maybe not across the board, but they're still doing the silly things we
Yep.
do as teenagers.
Right.
And it's like now we're all in fear
Yep.
of them wanting to experiment.
Right. Well, that's the thing I was just about to say. It's like back in the day, it was like, all right, silly mistake, experiment.
Right.
But now that, maybe you're at a party and you're getting peer pressured, that silly mistake that would normally 30 years ago wouldn't cause a problem. Now that little mistake just took their life.
Yes.
Being a young, dumb teenager,
Mm-hmm.
and it just took your life because some cartel, these cartels or drug dealers, whatever, they want to be assholes.
Yeah.
And all they care about is that dollar
Oh,
sign.
that's all they care about. Yep. And at first, when this stuff started first coming around, and we started hearing about it being in everything, and now they're actually there's marijuana out there now that has fentanyl in it.
What the?
Yeah. So I can't tell you the actual process of it. I
know-
do know that it exists though.
That is another reason why I fully support New Hampshire or
Right.
any state that wants to go legal. Because when you do these dispensaries and stuff, it is taking so much of it off the streets.
Yes.
Where normally marijuana is not a problem on the streets. Like,
Right.
It was like out of all the drugs in the world, that was the least crime, violence, you know?
Yes.
But now it's like, dude, you're putting it in fentanyl and marijuana now?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for what I've heard, they lightly dust it.
Nice.
And I was like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Now you got to worry about
Something
pot
you
being
did
laced with
not-
it.
Right. Something you did not have to put in it.
And if we just legalize, and I'm talking across the board, all drugs,
Yep.
all of them, at least at that point, you could know that if I'm going to buy cocaine, at least I know if I go to this dispensary for cocaine,
Right.
at least I know I'm getting cocaine
And not fentanyl.
and not fentanyl
Right.
laced. You know, and it's like people are always like, oh, well, marijuana being legal and the hippies and this and that. It's like if you walk into a dispensary today, it's almost medical grade.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
not the
100%.
pot itself, the establishment
Yep.
is cleaner than a doctor's office
And
sometimes.
the people you think you're going to see in there
You don't.
are not. I'm telling you, I've been in many, 100%.
Yeah.
When I go in there, 75% of the people are above the age of 40 or 50. And then the other, there's some younger dudes like me and stuff. It's older people, and they look nothing like the way the government predicted marijuana years ago. Oh,
Yeah.
gangster, I'm melting in the couch. No, they're well-dressed. The people that are in there, when I first went in there, I'm like, he's in a suit. She's like 85.
Right?
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's like my dad's friend's mechanic or something. It's crazy. But it is.
Yeah.
It is super clean, super neat. There's a line. It's like a doctor's office. I can't even smell the weed when I
No.
go in there. I can't.
No, because they have great ventilation
It smells
systems.
like Febreze. Like
Yeah.
it just smells nice in
And
there.
it smells clean. It
Yep.
always looks clean, and it's a nice. It's nice to see it that way because
Yep.
I feel like that lifts a little bit of the stigmatism that has been
100%.
put on marijuana and
Yep.
and pot smokers over the years. And you're just like, see,
Yep.
it doesn't have to be the way that you were portraying it
100%.
because we don't feel like it was ever correctly portrayed in the first place.
100%. You know what's funny too? If you take a person, right, and you put an alcohol store, a package like a tobacco outlet, or a marijuana shop in the same plaza, I guarantee you the one that draws the least attention is that marijuana shop.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
Because the package store has Bud Light, this all plastered. The other store has like Marlboro Newports all over it. They, and that's a lot of that's because of their regulations.
Mhm.
But no, it takes that stigmatism of like bad marijuana gangbanger, and it's like it's nothing like that.
It's
whatsoever.
nothing like it.
Whatsoever.
Yeah, and then and Sununu did say that like he doesn't want to see like if it becomes legal and it's state run,
Yep.
like they're gonna we'll see. But they said that they would like cut taxes, and if it's state run, they don't need to like tax the shit out of it.
Right.
Because a lot of the other states around us that are doing it are allowing like
The towns.
Massachusetts allows the big corporations to move in. So if you don't make, let's say, $1 million a year
Yep.
with that establishment, you're too small.
Okay.
They only want $1 million made a year plus. Those are the only
right.
establishments they're going to allow.
Yep.
You go to Maine, they want the mom and pop shops,
Okay.
right? And there's giant taxes on both ends.
Yep.
So that the state makes the revenue. Well, if it's
Right.
run by New Hampshire,
They can
so
keep the
what
taxes
Sununu
low.
said, they can keep the taxes low, cut out the cartel, and have a better, safer product.
Because they're gonna cut a pie. They run it. So
Right.
They don't need huge chunks from here. They're
Exactly.
getting little chunks at every single one.
Hey,
Which
we're
is-
the only state that runs our liquor the way we run our liquor. We're the only ones. And I haven't really had a problem with it.
Yeah.
I've never had an issue going to a liquor store and buying my liquor.
Yep.
You know, I always thought it was definitely more of a like not excitement, but it was like you could go anywhere in Massachusetts to get liquor.
Your
Anywhere.
local convenience store,
Yeah,
gas station.
anywhere.
You can go in there, grab a scratchy, grab a bag of chips, and there's New Amsterdam vodka chilling on the wall.
Yeah.
And
so like you kind of had to go out of your way, but now the New Hampshire state liquor stores are everywhere. Everywhere.
Yep.
So they've expanded so much. So if they were to legalize marijuana and just distribute it that way,
It would be fine.
it'd be fine.
Yep.
I mean, I don't give a shit how you do it.
Yep.
It's just like ketamine. Ketamine now comes in nasal sprays and it's used for PTSD. Massachusetts, Salem, Massachusetts, as of yesterday, real time. And this is May 21st, just for a timestamp. But they just decriminalized psilocybin mushrooms.
What is that?
Mushrooms.
Oh, like just psychedelic, just straight up
Psychedelic,
mushrooms.
psychedelic mushrooms in Salem, Salem, Massachusetts is the 6th, I believe, district in Massachusetts to decriminalize psilocybin mushrooms.
Jeez. Yeah.
And in Colorado, they've already legalized them.
Yep.
And Washington, they already legalized them. It's starting to trickle down, but now there's 6 districts in Massachusetts that have decriminalized basically magic mushrooms. Magic mushrooms.
Yep. See,
Which
I
excited
have no idea.
the shit out of me.
Yeah, I have no idea about mushrooms or anything. I've never done them, anything, or even got close to experimenting with them because, like I said, the way I've thought about it is like, all right, anxiety, I take it, bad trip, panic, nope, I'm done.
No.
But I hear there's some, in small regulated medical doses,
Yes.
I hear there is humongous beneficial, like, I guess some
Giant.
like trial, like people that did the trials, they had like extreme depression and they did like the smallest little microdose
Yes.
for like 3 days in a row where they did not get high whatsoever.
No.
Nothing like that. Like they're like nothing. They're like, I felt complete. It was non-psychoactive, but they had no depression for like 4 or 5 months.
Yes.
Straight.
Yes. It
with
completely,
no medication mixed in.
And that's what we're starting to find out is
Yep.
that it's helping with, again, PTSD and all these depression and anxiety and all of this. The thing about mushrooms that I think a lot of people have a misconception about is that if you are in a bad environment, right?
Yep.
You're having a bad day. You're everything's chaos in your brain.
Yep.
That's a bad time to go on a trip.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
would
very-
only, I
it's
would
a-
only imagine. That's a bad time to start drinking alcohol.
But
Yeah.
you wouldn't think it is because
Right.
when I was in those states of mind, I
Yep.
thought it was a great time to drink.
Right.
Not
Yep.
realizing that when I was drinking, I was increasing my depression because it's a depressant.
It's a depressant. Oh yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So when I was younger, I used to eat a lot of acid, a ton of it. And it was crazy. And I went on some wild trips
Yep.
and they were out of control. And eventually they got to the point where they were always bad.
Yep.
And so I did mushrooms very little when I was younger. But then I stayed away from psychedelics 100% for almost 20 years.
Okay.
Because I was like, I can't touch these things.
Trips were just bad.
They're just fucking me up. And then I started listening to people like Ben Greenfield and Joe Rogan
Yep.
and stuff like that. And they were talking about how the environment is so important. And if you're going to go on these long journeys, it's best to do it almost by yourself. And to have somebody that's not tripping watching over you.
Wow.
To make sure that you don't go down this hole in
Yeah.
a sense. And then they started talking about microdosing. And microdosing with psilocybin mushrooms, you can do it with acid, but you have to almost liquefy it.
Yep.
Right. And then there's
acid's not natural, right? You gotta you're making that
acid
stuff.
was made in a lab. I can't remember the exact history of it, but it was designed for something that they were trying to do. And what happened was the guy that designed it made some. He had it in his pocket or something. It seeped out of whatever it was in. It got into his skin. And then he went on this wild trip, and that's how we found out about acid. And that's all in a nutshell, and it's probably inaccurate.
Yep.
But that's basically the gist of how it got started.
Yep.
But when you want to microdose acid, you've got to have, I think it's some type of like alcohol or something. And then you have to take the acid and you have to dilute it, and it has to be measured, and there's microns and all this other stuff. So if you wanted one vial of liquid acid to go to be microdosed, you would need so much of one. a little bit of the acid. There's like 1,000 micrograms in the acid.
You'd have to really break it down.
You have to break it down, and then the little eyedropper, you do 1 drop or maybe 2 drops, and that would be a microdose.
Right. So it's like filling this up with the water and having like an eye drop of acid in there.
Yeah, and it's like something like that.
I can only imagine something. It's like I've never done it, but like in movies or whatever, it's like a little piece of paper that big.
Yes,
I can only imagine something that big.
My favorite when I was growing up was sugar cubes.
Sugar cubes.
Yeah, because we would get liquid acid. It was just a vial of liquid acid, and we would just do like 2-3 drops on a sugar cube, and then we'd wrap the sugar cubes up in tin foil, and we would just take them out of the tin foil and eat those. Oh yeah,
you guys, you're wild.
Oh,
I'm super straight edge. Like, I know, like.
Oh no, I've done maybe too many shares of drugs, but what I like about the mushrooms and the psychedelics is that they're easier to control.
Okay,
right? You just take a mushroom out, you put it on a scale. If it weighs 0.25, well then
that's what you're getting.
That's what you get. You just take that little bit and you eat that, and that minuscule amount will. What I like to say is that it turns on the lights.
Okay.
The colors become brighter.
Yep.
Everything, and all of a sudden, I get like this euphoric feeling. Like I'm not tripping. I'm not going. I'm not.
No, I have plenty of buddies that
I can function.
Like
there's fighters.
I know that microdose.
Yeah, there's fighters that microdose.
Oh, 100%.
During training camps and during fights.
Yep.
You know,
I know plenty of athletes that microdose as well.
I mean, baseball players, football players. I mean, all of them.
Yep.
Dabble in this because
from what they've told me, it's extremely beneficial.
Yes.
You know, like I said, I'm not straight edge because I'm against it. It just doesn't work for me. So I'm just like, whatever. But I know high level athletes that do it. I know regular everyday Joes that do it. You know, and they dabble here and there, maybe like a couple times a year, microdose. And we're talking very successful business people and very successful athletes.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I'm like,
but
hey, if it works, it works.
The reason that they're doing it is because it heightens everything.
Yep.
You can see things coming a lot clearer. So fighters like it because they can. What they've actually said is that it seemed to slow down time.
That's nuts.
So they could see a fist coming at them better than when they weren't microdosing.
Really?
They could see footwork that they couldn't see before. They could counter that.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons that they're using it. But I would use it, and I started kind of dabbling in psychedelics again when I started coming off of all of my medications. I was on an antipsychotic. I was on a mood stabilizer. I was on depression medication, Wellbutrin, for over 20 years.
Jeez.
And I never realized that drinking caused it all.
All of it. Yep.
Once I got rid of the alcohol, I looked at my therapist and I was like, bro, these medications are making me feel really fucked up. And he was like, well, maybe we can talk about getting you off of them.
Yeah.
And then as I started coming off of them, that's when more and more psychedelic talk started talking. And I was like, you know what? Maybe. And then I have a friend that wanted me off of alcohol all these years. Just dude, you would be such a better person if you just got these out of your got it out of your life. And I didn't want to listen to him. But when I finally did, and I was doing it, I had talked to him about, tripping again. And he was like, dude, you can't do acid. Right? Because acid fucked me up.
Yep.
And we've watched some friends not come back from a psychedelic trip.
That's what I've heard. Like they go on, maybe it's not too much or it was too much, and I've heard like crazy stories where they're not the same person no more.
Yes. And that does happen because they were already pre-programmed for that to happen.
Right. Okay. Because I've heard some stuff like if some people have like things in their DNA or whatever,
it will unlock that.
Even something as simple as weed can unlock it.
Well, now we're starting to find out it is unlocking it.
It is.
You can have a psychosis from too much marijuana.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. Yeah, but you have to have the pre-deposition or whatever the word is.
Yes. So people who had those things going on that we were unaware of when I was in my 20s.
You use the weed to even get it to unlock it.
Sometimes you don't.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just take too much. Right? Because now with all these edibles and everything that are out there, that potency is crazy.
Oh,
and the dabs, I mean, I enjoy my dabs. I'm not going to lie. but I've been smoking pot since I was 14.
Yeah, you know.
I got a tolerance. I know
Exactly.
exactly what too much is.
Yep.
I know exactly what I can intake a day.
Where you got these younger guys, they're like, oh, this is
Right,
a
they've
fat
never done it
booger.
before.
Or they'll eat like a whole, they're like, oh, hey, my buddy scored something from the dispensary. Let's eat 3 of these. It's like,
Yes.
hold on, cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they go too far, too quick.
Yep.
And it's too much. And we are seeing people that are addicted to marijuana.
Yep.
It's real. And we're
Crazy.
also seeing people have psychotic breaks because of the too much THC.
Too much. They're abusing it.
So the same thing was happening
Hey,
with
real quick,
people.
you say it's pre-recorded?
Yeah.
Dude, can I take a bathroom break?
Yeah, let's take a bathroom
awesome.
break
No, I
right
said
now.
take a pee real
We're going to
quick.
take a
Time
break. We'll
out.
get right back to
Yep.
it. Well, it's summer. That's right. It's here officially. And you know what that means? We got to go to Slow Down Clothing. These guys have it all. Shirts, hats, you name it. They got it. I mean, they got new stuff all the time. It's amazing. The collection keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. Look at all these new designs to slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. That's right, slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. Where are you getting your summer gear this year? Huh? Where are you getting it? Let me tell you where you're getting it. You're getting it where you can save some money, and I'm going to help you save some money this year. All you have to do is put in the promo code. Huh? That's right. TOPHER. Put that promo code in before you check out, and it's going to save you an extra 10% off your entire purchase. It's time for the beach. Beaches? Yeah, so get your towels, get your swim shorts, and don't forget about all the rest of the great stuff that you can get from this amazing website today. Not only do they have clothing, but they've also got kids' tees, they've got skateboards, and I mean, so much more. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. This website just keeps growing and the selection just keeps getting better. So remember, go to slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com today and let TWT save you some money on your summer gear this year by putting in promo code TOPHER before you check out for an extra 10% off that purchase. You can only do it here. Slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com and let TWT save you some money today. We're back, and just so with the psychedelics and the microdosing, when we saw people that were having these breaks and stuff, and my friend was like, dude, you can't do acid. And I was like, well, what about mushrooms? And he's like, you know what? That sounds great. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I got the okay.
I got it. We're good. Run with it.
Woo! All right. I can. And so at that time, I was getting into the microdosing and stuff like that. And I found that it helped me with my depression. It helped me with my addiction to alcohol. Yeah. And it alleviated all of the anxiety that was being caused by everything going on in my life. Right. And it really did help. It helped me break away from all my medications.
That's good.
Obviously I did some extra stuff for depression and stuff like that, like B12. If you're low on your B12,
vitamin B12.
Yeah. It's actually if you up your B12, it helps alleviate depression because of what it's firing in your brain.
Really?
Yes.
Something that simple that's on every shelf.
Well, you can do it by the stuff that's on the shelves. I actually paid $160 for a vial of it.
Oh, so like legitimate B12.
B12 in the liquid form. Yep. And then I would put that in a syringe. I think at one point in time I put it up on my TikTok. Yeah. And I filled up a syringe and I was shooting it in my shoulder. Okay. A full syringe of it. And I was doing that for months. And
you saw the benefits of it?
Oh my God, yeah.
Nuts.
It was crazy that being down on so many things, vitamin C, B12, just simple, and those are more hormones
Yep.
than anything. So you have to be careful with them, and you should have your blood taken. You should deal with doctors. You shouldn't buy any of this stuff off the market. You should definitely be working with somebody that's educated in working with this stuff and that can prescribe it to you correctly. Right. Yeah, I 100% always tell everybody, if you don't like your doctor, pick a new one.
Yep.
You pick your doctor just like you pick your therapist.
Yep.
You got to be very picky when you're dealing with these types of professionals.
Yep.
Right. You want to be picky, but having all of those pieces put together, plus the microdosing of the mushrooms,
yep,
really helped alleviate almost everything out of my life. Now,
and that's great. Like I said, like I've never done them or anything. But if it works for someone,
right,
and no one can say anything against it. If it works, it freaking works. And if it's alleviating from someone that has dealt with anxiety pretty bad, if it's alleviating you of your anxiety, of your depression, of your anything, do it.
Yeah,
100%. I would never tell anyone to not, unless they're like drinking for
right.
anxiety.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
I was told this, and that's only what I can imagine, because when I did drink, the anxiety is always worse the next day.
Yes.
I heard it once. It's like a credit card. You swipe it, right? Your anxiety's gone, your depression's gone, whatever you're doing while you're drinking it, right? You swipe a credit card, it takes it away, but it's giving it back with interest the next.
Yes.
And the only way to get rid of it is to swipe that card again.
Yes.
And then eventually it's nonstop,
And that's what I like about mushrooms and stuff like that, is that even people who go on giant journeys, right? You eat 5-6 grams of mushrooms and go on a fucking journey and talk to aliens and see the monkeys and do all this wild shit. And I still believe that they came from outer space. I don't care who thinks I'm crazy for saying that, but I don't believe they were part of this planet.
What, mushrooms?
Yeah. They're just a different entity. I mean, mushrooms in themselves, just the organisms, the mycelium, all of it, it's such a high functioning organism that it's like it is a living thing.
That's
and
nuts.
it creates communication from that everything it connects to, trees, bushes, grass, it's always growing. It's underneath the ground everywhere.
That's crazy.
I mean, I get all kinds of wild mushrooms just popping up in my yard for no fucking reason, and I'm like, this is crazy.
Because non-psychedelic mushrooms, I have buddies and friends that they do the psychedelic mushrooms, but they also go foraging and stuff for other certain mushrooms that are not psychoactive.
Yeah,
but they're like, this one's crazy for your bones, this one's crazy for your blood, this one's crazy, and they're literally knifing these things off trees, bringing them home, cleaning them, and putting them in their everyday meals.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, this is this,
well,
and this is that.
Cordyceps mushrooms, which grow on the back of like caterpillars and shit, those help you take in more oxygen.
Really?
Which is why they're in the shroom tech.
So that's what I was gonna bring up. Yep. Yeah, those mushrooms help carry blood throughout your body.
Yes.
I mean, oxygen and everything. So obviously you need oxygen in your blood to perform.
Those are cordyceps mushrooms.
That's nuts.
And then you've got like lion's mane.
Yep.
And stuff like that, which do many other things. Well, I believe psychedelics are right there with them, as long as you're using them properly. But the thing is that you don't go on a massive fucking journey and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm doing that again tomorrow. Usually by the time that journey's over, I'm like, oh man, I just figured out so much and I'm going to stay away from this for like a couple weeks, a month, maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
I might go back and like do a microdose.
Right.
But I'm not going all in again. Right. Sometimes the journey is too much. And I'm like, I need a break. I need a break.
It's too much.
It was just too much. And that's what I like about the psychedelics, is that people think that it's a party drug, and it's not. Actually, the worst time to take it is in a crowd of people.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
It really is.
And even if you do it in like a group of people, my buddies that have done it, they're like, it's a small group of people.
Yes.
We're in a extremely safe, well-known environment.
Right.
They go, it's because you can take the funnest time of your life, but you have one bad person in there, or you're at a bad location, and it switches that.
Very quickly.
You go from, this is the happiest moment of my life, to, dear God, I'm dying.
And you can't get off that ride until it wears out.
That's why I've never touched them, because like I'm too afraid, because
that's why I was saying that the environment, your mental state, the people around you, all of those are giant factors
Yeah.
into whether or not you're going to have a good time or a bad time. And that's why I also say that there's no reason for these not to be legal, because anybody using it to party is going to find out real quick
They're gonna get
that
it
it's
regardless.
not a party
Yeah.
drug. It's just not. And it's not an addictive substance, because most of the people that I talk to, and we all go on pretty giant journeys,
Yep.
we're all like, yeah, it was great, but I'm not going there again for
Yeah,
like 6
yeah,
months.
yeah,
I can't handle it.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So it's not like something you can get highly addicted to and you're going to do every fucking day.
Right.
It just doesn't happen.
Yeah. So
Doesn't
it sounds
happen.
like it's more of like a fucking experience than anything.
Oh, it's definitely an
It's
experience.
not like going out,
Yeah.
partying, smoking some weed, drinking some alcohol. It's
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. My next one is
gotta be prepared.
I want to get into some DMT. That's going to be my next venture, because I want to see what that's like, because
That's wild.
and I believe it. I believe it to be true, is that DMT
Yeah,
is
we
what
make that naturally in our brain,
Yes.
right? It's what makes you dream.
Yeah, it's supposedly what helps you dream. It's
Okay.
also what is released when you're dying.
Oh, because they say when you die, you go like instant euphoria,
Yes.
no pain.
You see
nothing.
people who are dying in a hospital and stuff, and they'll start grabbing at things. Or
What?
and supposedly that's the DMT being released in their body to help you die,
Yeah.
right? So it's not as scary,
It's
I
like
guess.
the equivalent. You're in extreme pain. Here's some morphine.
Right.
It's
That's how
Yeah.
I understand it to be.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, what is that like? And if we are capable of doing that, then I kind of want to try it to see what you see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And see how that feels. And if you smoke DMT, I'm not going to get into the differences
Yep.
of them or the specifics, but if you smoke it, it's only 15 minutes
Really?
and it's gone.
Okay, so I've heard, and is this true with the DMT? It's over quick as hell,
Mm-hmm.
but you think you just went through 6 hours.
Yep.
Okay, see, that's crazy.
100%.
That is crazy.
That's 100% exactly how I understand it to be. And now, today, from so many people experimenting with DMT today, there is, they've turned the DMT into a liquid. People are taking it in through IVs, and now they're capable of going on 2 to 3 hour DMT trips.
Oh my god.
That is new science.
So that's probably like a day and a half, 2 days.
I mean,
It
it's got to be.
feels-
Well, the thing is that
You
like
know?
you do the DMT, you have the experience, but then what people are doing is they're trying to get back into the experience,
All
right off the bat. You're trying to get back in. You're trying to get back in. But when you get back in, you start over from where you started.
Really?
So you have to get back up to the point where you already were, and then you're trying to go further than that, but it won't let you.
Right.
So
So,
that-
that's why they got the 3
That's
hour.
why they're
Okay.
doing the fucking liquid and doing it through an IV. So now you can get to that point you were already at, and now you're
Right,
going
further.
way beyond it. Fucking crazy.
You gotta let me know, because I
It's-
said, I'm
It's
like
wild.
wild
shit.
I'm as straight edge as it gets. I'm like so afraid of, like, even if it's natural, like weed, I'm in full support, but like
Yeah.
I'm the type of kid that, like, we grew up in high school and all the friends, and when Brendon was smoking, there's one of two things happening. I was the happiest, giddiest, laughing dude in my life, or I'm pacing in the corner because I think the cops are gonna come get. I never knew why.
That extreme paranoia from
I
smoking.
never knew why. I attribute it to, I have anxiety. But then sometimes I'd smoke, and I did a fair amount of smoking growing up, but it was always spinning the roulette table. It was either going to be good or it was going to be bad.
Yeah.
I was either extremely paranoid or I was the chillest dude to be around.
Yeah.
There was
And,
no in between.
and I find the paranoia to be a good thing.
Really?
I look forward to that. I do. I'm not comparing myself to Joe Rogan, but I feel the same way he does about smoking marijuana. When that paranoia kicks in,
Yeah.
I go, ooh, what's up? What's up? And I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, why is this kicking in right now? There's something I'm avoiding in my life, and it's poking through right now.
Really?
That's where you're getting that from. That's that paranoia. It's not that it's causing the paranoia. The paranoia was already in you.
That
It's just
kind
it's,
of released
it's
it, let it go.
releasing it. And
See,
now
I never thought about it like that.
and now you got to look at it. You have to look at yourself and go, what is causing this? And most of the time, you think about it and you
Jeez.
figure it out, and then you face it, goes right away. there is no more paranoia.
That's nuts.
It's just you hiding something from yourself.
Yeah.
And you need to figure it out. And so I use marijuana as an everyday tool
Yep.
for myself because I'm always checking myself. I'm always anxious about something.
Yep.
There's always something.
Oh, yeah, always.
We are all anxious all the time.
Yep.
I don't think we're not supposed to be anxious today because of the way the world is built.
Yep.
We're not supposed to be living in houses. We're not supposed to have electricity.
No,
We're not
and
supposed to be
here's the thing,
doing
too,
this
like,
shit.
You need all, like, for someone that's like, oh, I have depression, I have anxiety. It's like, they're just extreme cases.
Right.
Where but everyone in their mother, you are naturally born with things that get you anxious, anxieties, depressions, this, that.
Yes.
And they are essential. Because they can be like warning signs and stuff like that. Like, why am I anxious about this? Well, maybe you shouldn't be fucking doing that with this person hanging out.
Right.
That's probably why. You know, why am I depressed? Oh, well, you should probably stop eating fast food every day and not working out. Like,
right.
You know, there's tells for it.
And when those people smoke pot and they're like, oh my God, I got so paranoid.
Yep.
Yeah, because you're doing a lot of shit in your life and it was trying to be like, hey, take a look at this. Let's change things. And instead they go, I just can't smoke pot because I'm paranoid. No, you're dealing with internal shit and it's causing you to look at it, which is giving you this paranoia.
I got some past to look into then. Because
Dude, I
paranoid. When I smoked, it was 50-50.
Yeah, I look at it all the time.
One or the other.
Before we get going today, I just wanted to touch on one thing because I believe you're in the same boat that I'm in.
Yep.
Where this AI is taking over white collar, blue collar, schools. It's taking over so many things.
Yep.
People are going to start losing jobs. We're not going to need
100%.
journalists. I mean, eventually, we may not even need doctors. And I don't know if you've heard this yet, but some people have taken their symptoms that no doctor could figure out what was wrong with them. They put all of the symptoms into the AI system, and then it came up with a diagnosis. They brought it back to the physicians or the doctors, and the doctors were like, holy shit, I can't believe we missed this.
And it worked?
And it worked.
See, this is my thing with AI, and this is something that you can't avoid nowadays because it's all over social media. It's all over the
everywhere.
World. I think it's good for things like that, and maybe like high variable calculations things, because you can take a computer and throw 500 variables at it, and it will deal with it like that.
Right.
Where a human, if you give them 3 variables, it takes time. Like, because as the computers, they're preset with things. You know what I mean? But it can definitely, my thing is too, it's going to go too far.
I think it will.
I believe humanity is going to take technology and science way too far. And this is coming from, you know, everyone has their religious views. I'm a Christian myself, and that's why I believe it. It's going to take science and, you know, AI way too far, because this is weird. I was scrolling through Instagram last night, you know, just laying in bed scrolling, and you see these sponsored ads left and right. It's like, oh, download this new AI app. It does this. It's like, AI, please write me a text message to send to my 3-year girlfriend to break up with them. Please do that. Write me this report. Write me this.
Shit.
I'm like, I swear to God.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think of that.
It was a sponsored ad, and this AI thing started writing, hey, I'm sorry, you're such a nice person, blah, blah, blah. I believe AI is going to disconnect people from reality,
shit,
from social interactions, from catching social cues. It's crazy. It was nuts. And then, you know, you click on it, and literally there are apps on this phone, these little phones we can get, that are AI things. Like, AI, write me an essay. AI, do this. AI, what's that? It's you want to know something sick?
Yeah, I do.
Dude,
I do.
So disgusting. I cannot even make this up. I saw a sponsored ad, and I don't know why I'm getting these, because all my sponsored ads make no sense, because I do not think or talk.
I agree.
I
agree.
Dude, I talk about French bulldogs, my kid and fist fighting, and smoothies. Why am I getting these ads? So there was a website, it had a sponsored run ad, AI dating.
No.
It literally, it's like, oh, you know, you're lonely. And it showed the text, like it ran a sponsored, oh, and the AI said, oh, hey, baby. Like, you just got home. Are you having a rough day? And a person's like, yeah, this. They are socially interacting
with a computer.
AI lovers. Yes.
Oh,
I cannot make this shit up. I looked at it and I was like, what the fuck? It is going to destroy social interactions with people. That's where it's going too far.
Well, there was a Twitter thing where there was a picture of Elon kissing AI robot.
Yep.
And it was my friend sent it to me, and he goes, "This is where the world's going." And I was like,
Yep.
"What the fuck is this shit?"
Yep.
But what I was thinking is being in the food industry,
Yep.
and you are also in the food industry, and then you're also a fighter,
Yep.
right? AI right now, I don't know where it could be in
Yep.
10 years because it seems to be moving quite rapidly. I don't care what they say. They've already got 5 in the works, and they just released 4. They say that they don't. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
They're already on 7. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they just released 4 and they're working on 7.
But how long? Right? News reporters, writing essays, doctors, all this shit. We're already watching them lose their value.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
How long before AI can run a restaurant?
Right. So that's the one thing. And it's funny, I talked to my wife about this like a year ago when we first started talking about AI, because about a year ago is when McDonald's introduced the touch the button.
Yeah, dude, that shit was wild.
I don't think AI, and at least not in our lifetime or the next 10 lifetimes, could ever replace certain, like they're going to replace high level jobs and high functionings, but it's the simple things I feel they won't be able to replace anytime soon. I'm telling you right now, they will not be able to replace foods. I told my wife, I'm like, there's no problem. Easy.
We'll survive.
We'll be fine. I'm like, you can... If you can get multiple robots and AIs that are going to cut foods perfectly, do all this, interact, be my guest.
Right. But we're way away from that.
So far. The ashes from our bones will be gone. And that's why, industries like ours were safe. And it's so weird to think about it because, simple food service, you might be able to speed up with the ordering. But as far as humans making and cooking food at certain levels and this and that and packaging, won't see that in our lifetime, but it will replace doctors very fast.
Yeah, right?
100%.
That's what I was thinking too. Because
look at the pandemic. Yeah. Did you talk to your doctor on your phone at all on Zoom?
I had to do it through Dartmouth. They have a website thing and an app on our phone, and I would have to send pictures and shit through there.
I would not be, and this may sound far-fetched, I would not be shocked that in our lifetime, we go to the doctor's office and we, just like COVID, we hop on a Zoom call with an AI.
Yeah.
And if anything big comes up, then they'll transport it to a doctor.
Right.
But like you said, the AI, it said all this stuff. I think that's what's going to be. It's going to be AI stuff. We're going to talk to it, this, that, and then the doctor's going to read the reports.
Right. But AI can't fight.
No. Oh, hell no.
I was thinking about it when
AI will never take out food. It'll never take out.
January, February this year is when AI started really ramping up. And I thought to myself, I was like, man, did I make a fucking good move or what? They can't make sandwiches.
And that's the crazy thing.
They can't do wraps.
Nope.
They can't do this. They can't cook.
It's crazy.
I was like, holy shit.
With all the variables and everything, like, I want this with that. It's so crazy to think that AI is nearly impossible, at least nowhere near our lifetime, to replace making sandwiches and smoothies and food, but they can replace doctors and stuff like that.
Right.
They'll never replace fighting. We already technically have machine AI that goes down the circuit board and builds parts, components. You're not going to get an AI to build a skyscraper.
Nope.
You're not going to get an AI to come in, find the leaking pipe in your house, and fix it.
Right.
It's like the essential main things, the easiest things, they're not going to be able to replace.
Or surgery.
They
won't, if you start breaking down what AI would be capable of taking away and what it's not capable of taking away right now, I feel like I really made a great decision.
We're good. Dude, we make the food and we're set.
We get the food. Yep. I was like, holy shit.
I may not be a supercomputer, but
I'm watching.
I can make a smoothie.
My wife has been at Walmart for 27 years.
Yep.
And I'm watching more and more retail industries collapse, especially with the collapse of Babies R Us, Bed Bath & Beyond, and now Christmas Tree Shop.
I heard a couple of them filed bankruptcy.
Oh, no. They filed bankruptcy and closed 10 locations in Massachusetts.
Oh, shit.
Dude, and that is Amazon's fault. But Amazon is a giant in itself, but where they already use AI to almost distribute everything, and where they treat their employees as if they're robots, right? Not allowing them to go to the bathroom and all this other stupid shit. Eventually, my wife, I don't think, is going to be able to have a position because they've already got robots that fucking wash the floor, that scan the inventory. They have a robot that just goes up and down aisles, just scanning everything.
Yep.
Taking inventory for them.
I feel like it'll take jobs where, like, say Walmart needs 100 employees.
Yeah.
It's going to drop it down to 20.
Right.
And jobs like that. And, yeah, but Amazon's a powerhouse, and obviously they have to use AI, computers, everything to keep their stuff running the way it does.
They have to.
And it'll slowly trickle down from the powerhouse to the Walmarts to the Targets, and then ding, ding, ding.
That's
ding,
what I'm thinking. It's like I always thought that like Walmart would be the I always thought of Walmart as the cockroach of the retail industry. It will always survive everything.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And over the last 3 years, I'm like, I wonder how true that is today with all of this stuff. Because like now my wife's job is bringing orders to people's cars that they placed online.
Yep. It's crazy.
That's her job. And I was like, what?
Walmart's, Targets, and like Hannaford's. And actually, I've done it in a rush in Shaw's.
Yeah.
And my wife do it. She's like, hey, just pick this up. They already pre-did. I'm like, what do I do? She's like, there's just a sign, online pickup. Dude, I pulled up to the Shaw's. And like, this has been going on for years. But it's so weird for me because I always... I wanted something, I went in, I got it.
Yes.
You know, I barely touched drive-thrus. But it said, she's like, all right, just pop the trunk. Dude, I popped the trunk. Lady comes out, puts all my stuff, show me your code. All right, have a great day. I was like, I have a full trunk of groceries, and I didn't do a fucking thing with it.
You just drove up.
I just drove up. But yeah, that's how it's going to do, like the scanning the inventory and simple stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
I believe my overall say on it is it's going to go way too far. Way too fast.
I'm not gonna disagree with you.
Yeah.
No, because I'm just sitting back watching this wild ride. I haven't even. I wanted to fuck around with it, but I just haven't yet. I'm like, you know what? No, I'm just gonna back off.
Even the simplest things, like I said, that sponsored ad, you can have AI online relationships.
That's weird.
Take some. Not only is that weird as fuck. Imagine somebody picture someone didn't go through high school. Do you know how socially weird they would be?
Yeah.
If they just did not go to high school or middle school.
Yeah.
One of the biggest parts of schooling, I believe, is the social interactions with other humans. Dude, no dudes are going to get so weird when they have like these online groups. They'll never leave their fucking house.
Nope.
I swear they'll never leave their house. And then if Elon starts dropping those...
Dude,
those dolls, dude. Well,
this
world's gonna get real weird, real fast.
That was fucking weird. But there's also a company that is going up against Elon's company that is making the chip that you can put into your brain.
What?
Oh yeah. There's a chip that you can put into your brain. It's supposed to help with mental. What the fuck? I don't know the words, but you can put it in. It's supposed to be able to help you through depression and all these other things. And it's got this mind control type of stuff. Eventually, what he told Rogan years ago was, we will no longer need to talk. We will be able to telepathically tell each other whatever we need to with these chips. There's a company right now that's in competition with Elon's company that is on the verge of getting their mind chip FDA approved.
Come on.
Nope.
No, and first off, the words FDA approved mean absolute jack shit.
No, they mean
nowadays.
Nothing to me.
Especially what just happened with the pandemic.
Bullshit.
And now their top two with COVID, their top two vaccines, now they don't clear them no more.
Oh, weird.
Yeah,
huh?
weird. Their top two ones they pushed, they now did not clear.
Yeah.
FDA can kiss my ass. I do not trust a word.
The CDC, the FDA, they all suck. They're all fucking liars, and all they care about is money.
Now, this is my thing. If I just go down the rabbit hole real quick, I look at that. It's like, all right, first off, no one's putting a chip in my head. Anyone can do what they want to do. I'm a huge fan of, technology is beneficial, but once you start letting it control you, we use technology as our tools.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, here's my problem with it. What if you need an upgrade?
Okay.
So how many times are they going to open up your fucking skull to upgrade this thing?
Yep.
Right?
Now what happens if the government gets included with these companies? What if you're doing something they don't like?
Huh. And then now they have the power of shutting you off.
Yeah.
Well, what?
So that's the only reason I'm not for fully electric vehicles. This is the only reason why. Oh, you're
100%.
doing this now. Okay, now you can't drive.
Yes.
Now you
and
can't this.
I
I'm like,
said that a couple
oh
weeks
my
ago.
God. That's why I love the hybrids. I have a hybrid because no matter what,
You
I
still
an
have
engine.
gas.
I still have a combustion engine in there.
Right.
But that whole thing, like talking, it's a recipe for disaster unless there's a master. And that's what's going to suck is, the people aren't the masters. We've learned that in government nowadays. It used to be for the people, run by the people. No,
not
that's
anymore.
Not how it is no more.
No, because we've given up too much.
And now you're putting these chips in here. They want to put like scanners where you can pay in your arm.
Yeah.
What happens when you go against whoever's
What
running
happens
its
if you make
agenda?
a bad tweet?
Yeah, game over, my dude.
That's called social currency.
The crazy elites in this world have done crazy, crazy, crazy things. It's like, all right, you make a bad tweet, you vote the wrong person, you say something about this. All right, here's crippling depression because we have a chip in your fucking head.
Right?
Crazy.
Crazy
and then
shit.
The last thing I'll say on that is the whole, you can talk to each other without talking. Okay, what if that breaks? Let's say that kills it for 10, 15 years straight. All right, what happened if that breaks or something happens? Are we just going to be mumbling at each other?
Right, because now you don't know how to talk?
Talk, bro.
Oh, shit.
That's
a good one.
Let's say a child is born and raised, right?
Yeah.
And they've had that chip, something crazy like that, right? And we're talking crazy futuristics.
Right.
But then let's just say, for example, something breaks, or maybe your mother makes a tweet or something happens and that chip gets shut down. Now you're illiterate.
Wow. Right. Because you didn't need to
I
talk.
guarantee with me and you talking our whole entire lives, if we did not speak words for 6 months straight, because we could all tell.
You would lose it.
I'm telling you, me and you would start talking like we were drunk as hell.
Yes, I believe that.
I stumble on words every day and I talk every day.
Yeah. The only reason that I have a better vocabulary and a better speech pattern than I did 6.5 years ago is because alcohol was making it hard for me to retain
100.
shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now that I can actually retain, things have gotten better, but I have to do it all the time to keep it where it is. But you're right. If you got a chip and you don't have to, and you don't, and then it breaks, you can't talk, you can't function.
Me, this may sound extreme, but the whole AI, everything, the way the world, and when I say government, I mean like the world.
Yes.
Like, the way they're all running, 1,000,000%, I believe they're going to push the AI. They're going to push anything they can to take responsibility away from us and to take problems away from us. But they're going to be the ones controlling it because at the end of the day, if we can't do anything for ourselves, who do we need?
Right.
We need them. It's crazy. And that's how I feel the government and everyone in the world just wants to get there. They want us to be 110% codependent on them.
Yes.
Because if we ever do say, smell or whatever, anything they don't like, there's the power.
There it is.
Gone.
We keep giving it to them.
I will never put a chip in my head.
No fucking way. Dude, I saw that article.
In 60 years,
and I
you'll
went,
see me in the mountains. They're like, oh, and there's, a family will drive by. There's crazy Brendon. He won't get the chip. I'm taking solar from the book. And I'm like, I'll be the guy at the market. I'm like, listen, 20 years ago.
Oh, man, it is
crazy.
It's going to be a wild, wild world in about a decade.
I
give it 10 years.
I give it 10 years. And I give it another 5 to 10 after that to have the full exposure.
Right? I think so. Yep. I think so.
One of the biggest comparisons I've seen of that is I look back to like a time like 2010 to now. And while we lived that the whole time, there's little bits and pieces of the world. But when you put it all in a big nutshell, you're like, what the F?
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, dude,
Crazy.
It's absolutely insane.
It's bananas.
Please plug and promote all your shit one more time.
All right. So Kid Marotte anywhere.
Yep.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Just got a Rumble.
All right.
So I'll be posting a lot more content, stuff like that. But you search Kid Marotte anywhere, and you're going to find me.
That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. And the business is balanced. And thank you so much, Brendon, for coming on. I really appreciate it, brother. And everybody out there, as always, enjoy your Thursday. Have a great rest of your weekend. And I will talk to you later.